Kenny Holt, my man, how you doing?
I'm doing good, Randy. I got I don't got Saratoga water, but it's my water bottle. I got the ice cubes. And you know what? I'm not putting fruit on my face. Ain't no banana peels, but guess what? I'm all right. How you, homie?
You all right, man? I wasn't expecting that intro, but okay then. Yo, bro, that's all I've seen the last 3 days on my timeline: banana peels, ice cubes, water, Saratoga water, working out videos. It was it was definitely a weekend to everybody doing the food shopping, carts, they're buying supplies. I'm like, oh, okay, now I see what this is. But very,
Running,
very entertaining weekend for
running
sure.
up and down the hall like I'm Ashton. Saratoga, baby.
Listen, I know Raw ended like at 5:30, maybe 6 p.m. on the East Coast. We're doing a show now at 10:30. I'm here thinking it's airing live again. So, and plus Kenny was at work. He did not see it live, so I gave him some time to kind of catch up on it. Um, this won't be a very long show, so we'll get right to it. Again, you're watching live on Twitter, X, YouTube. Thank you. We greatly appreciate it. Just go ahead to youtube.com/ cruise control podcast. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Show us some love and support for your boys on the program. Um, if you got any questions, comments regarding Raw from Scotland tonight, or SmackDown last week, or WrestleMania, or whatever is on your mind, hit us up in the chat. We'll be here for maybe 40 minutes the most. Just talk about Raw mainly. So, again, I was at work, I had on my phone. So I pretty much knew what happened from 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock to like 6:30, whatever it was. I waited for you to go home, tap in, and see for yourself. So, real quick, what stood out to you from Raw? And then we'll start with the second John Cena, Cody Rhodes face to face promo edition for the second week in a row. Um, any thoughts about the Cena promo, the Cody interaction? Was it better than last week? Was it the same? Are you overwhelmed, underwhelmed, all that good stuff?
I think I'm pretty much at the level like this level was a little more advanced to what
Okay.
was a little bit more for what Cena did last week.
Hmm.
This week, last week it was more to the fans explaining, but this time more it was a lot more I would say more like a villain setting up his plan diabolically. So he's like now he's speaking from like diabolically. Cena's exact words was like, "I'm going to destroy like
Hmm.
wrestling." You thought I
Yeah,
cared about it.
ruin wrestling.
I'm gonna ruin wrestling. You know, and they were just giving him heat. We heard "F you, Cena."
Hmm.
Like shut the F up. I'm just
That's
like,
right.
man, they is laying it, but he's just building upon it, just really just embracing it. I think this time, like last week, we saw him enter the hate. Now he's just embracing it. And I probably thought he saw our show because he was referencing talking about, y'all hated the spitting championship, thinking it didn't fit. But guess
Telling you,
what?
man.
I'm gonna take I'm gonna take it from you. I'm gonna take it from you. Take that title from you.
Hmm.
'Cause y'all don't want me to be the 17-time champion. So I'm gonna leave the company with that championship.
That's
So
right.
it was pretty like it was a lot more edge, a lot more grit. But with Cody came out, we still didn't see him, go back and forth with him. Cody had a little more grit. I
Hmm.
feel like John's like holding back, like he's waiting to unleash it. And I
Yeah,
feel like I feel like he really won't unleash it unless he's told to by the final boss. I feel like John
really.
held back because the final boss or the great one says so.
That's right.
He won't get that final. He won't get
How you
the.
gonna mix Stone Cold and The Rock together? Then the Great One says so, and the Stone Cold said so. The Great One. Come on, man.
Hey, that's a
What you
line.
doing?
Also, that's a line Rock used. That is like, and that's the bottom line, cause the great one said so, or
Yeah,
the final boss said so.
yeah.
So, but I think he's gonna wait until he gets word from Rocky to say, you know what, destroy him. So that might be a little thing. It might trigger. It might be like a trigger word, like Zemo
Mm,
from in Civil War, where a Winter Soldier, all he had to hear was that time and date, and that triggered him. So
yeah,
probably Cena won't go until he's activated or he's triggered to actually really go at Cena.
I think a few things. One, um, I thought it was better than last week.
Hmm.
Um, Again, you don't see Cena retorting back to Cody Rhodes. Cody gets his shit off, and John just walks away. I think that's subliminal. I think that's done on purpose because maybe I think there's only one show left for John to appear on. I think that's next week on Raw. And then maybe he'll just say, talk his shit then in front of Cody Rhodes or have a rebuttal towards Cody. And I think after that, it's WrestleMania for John Cena.
Hmm.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that's the last time you'll see John before Mania. Um, you mentioned about the spinner belt was the big thing, the key thing that I recall from the promo, and then we were on this show a month ago. And again, does John see the show? I don't know. I don't know. I fucking doubt it.
You don't
I
know.
doubt it. I doubt it. Um, we did mention, hey, if I did ask you if John was to win at WrestleMania, does he bring back the spinner belt? And you said if he does, and I don't recall if this was before. I think this was post heel turn. So I think he was heel when I asked you this. Um, Now it's like, hey, if he does bring it back, it'll make the crowd cheer him more because it's a nostalgia prop. It's a nostalgia thing from 20, 15, 20 years ago. Oh, the spinning belt, that was my shit. Even though people shitted on it back then, there was still a large handful of fans that were a fan of the spinner belt. Like me, I had no problem with the spinner belt. I mean, if you bring it back tomorrow, I'm all for it. But he did say that was his greatest creation, and that was a time to bring that kind of belt to the forefront, and that was there
Yeah.
for a good uh 7-8 years, maybe even more. Yeah, Punk had it, Edge had it, a couple other guys had it.
Yeah.
um but I think Cena creating that and like a new evolution to the title, because the title before that I didn't like that design that Brock had and JBL. I
You
fucking
didn't
hated
like
that that,
that?
that title. No, I
Oh,
hated.
I know he's had that. I like that belt. That belt was all right.
Nah, bro. You go from Wing Eagle to the big Wing Eagle, which is phenomenal, to then this thing that Brock had, that Guerrero had, that JBL had.
That,
And I'm like, that's just,
that was after that was
Hogan had it, Undertaker had it.
Hunter had it. Yeah, that was right after they retired the big gold, and well they took the big gold to Raw and they got rid of the original Wing Eagles. So that
Yeah.
was the new undisputed championship.
Yeah, and listen, if they bring, I think if he does win, they should bring it back. And he's the one saying, "Well, if I win, I'm gonna retire with this belt. No one's gonna beat me. I'm gonna ride off to the sunset. I'm gonna ruin wrestling. I'm gonna break Ric Flair's record." So now the difference of promo one from last week is that we never heard of anything about Ric Flair, the title picture. Still no word of The Rock from either Cody or John Cena.
Right.
Um, no word from Elimination Chamber from Cody or John Cena. So you're starting to, I guess, get an evolution of what John is going to say going forward. Am I a fan of, like, he turned heel, but I don't think he's fully turned yet. I don't think he's there because it's the outfits. It's the matching outfits and the same theme song. And he said, "Hey, you get nothing new. You get same theme song. You get the same outfit." But I think it's just hard for fans to fathom. Yeah, John, you're a heel, but can you like act like one? Can you dress like one? Can you show a different side? Aside from the promo about the fans, and I know more about you than you know about yourself, and all that, which is fine and cool. But it's like, can we? when are we getting to the part of why you turn, why The Rock? Are you jealous of Cody Rhodes? Do you see him as a wannabe John Cena? When are you going to unleash on Cody? Because Cody has been talking his shit in front of you, but you haven't retorted back to him not once. You talked 15, 20 minutes prior to him coming out, cool. But when he's out there, it's like you don't say what you say one word to any of Cody's promos. Now one word. So maybe we finally get all of that unpackaged next week on Raw. And there's been no physical altercations.
It
They
almost looked
haven't
like something.
touched.
It almost looked like something tonight, but John pump faking.
Right. The D Wade pump fake, Kobe pump fake.
Chris Smith pump fake.
But I'm like, yo, you gotta like it's gotta be more than just in-ring promo, bro. It's gotta be Cena coming to the arena in a whip. Cody's waiting for him, or vice versa. And they start scrapping, they start getting it on. Some backstage, bring it outside the arena. Like, because if this is the last time you're gonna see John until Mania, it can't just be a promo and I walk out. Like, that's your build up for WrestleMania for the main event.
I feel like we just got to be patient and see what's happened. Like every so often, this is like building. So
But
every
are you okay with the build? Are you okay? I know it's a very, very slow burn, a slow burn, but are you like, I need just a little bit. Don't give me the full 100%. Give me something a little more. So next week, I'm like, all right, this has to be talked about. This subject has to be brought up because if not, then it's like, what the fuck are we doing here?
I think that we build this up for next week. It's gonna, 3 times, and then when they come back to the States, come back to Chicago, we're gonna see it in full form. So
But he may not be there. John may not be there.
he may not, Cena might not be there, but Rock may be there. So we can get something from that. And it is one thing is about every week we're seeing Cena like it's like a champagne bottle. It's going to pop any moment of time. Like
Mhm.
I think it's really going to just come in, trigger, and then heck, we might see what you might say. We might see something happen backstage. Cena might attack John and make him bleed again.
Cena might attack John. Wow, that's crazy.
Excuse me.
Cena
Cena
might
might
attack
attack
Cody, or
Cody.
Cody might attack John.
I mean, hey, theoretically, hey, who's the real bad guy, John or Cena? So who
That's
knows?
right.
So Cena might actually attack Cody, and he's going to possibly that trigger word. He might go full Winter Soldier mode,
Hmm.
attack the company's Captain America, which is Cody Rhodes. Winter
Yeah.
Soldier is John Cena. So right now, we're seeing like it's no more of being the America's image, being the wrestling image, being the icon of which he is, like the takeover of the new ruthless aggression. So
Yeah.
this Cena we're seeing is slowly trying to phase in, like this is the side of John Cena that will like as he rides off into the sunset, he leaves the company, but this will hold a staple to say that he held his own as a champion or as his character that he upheld for the last few years. But this one right here, this is really going to shape and glorify him as, possibly one of the greatest because we saw him as the greatest face ever. But
Hmm.
if no, someone might say, like, yo, when Cena did this turn at the Elimination Chamber, greatest heel, maybe,
Or
possibly,
maybe not.
maybe not. But guess what? It's something we've never seen. And guess what? People enjoyed it because damn sure people definitely talked about John Cena's heel turn from Elimination Chamber, man.
Does he feel like a heel to you right now?
I would say give me about 25-40% because he's done everything as a heel from Elimination Chamber. I mean, he's cutting people on the mic tonight. Well, today was more glorified as a heel. Last week,
Hmm.
he was really just voicing his frustrations to the fans. But this time, it was more like, yeah, guess what? This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take it. I'm going to rip your hearts out. I'm going to watch you bleed. and I'm still going to hold that championship in my hand. So that was
Okay.
pretty. That was pretty some deep stuff. I'm like, all right. Now he's like, before he broke our hearts. Now he's tugging at the cords.
Mhm.
So that's one thing like a super all notorious supervillains do. They attack the
Yeah.
heart, then they attack everywhere else. They attack
From a
emotions.
from a Cody Rhodes standpoint, um, a question: are you a big fan of Cody, or like
I'm
just
a
a
fan.
fan, or
I'm a fan of Cody.
you're a
You
fan
know,
of
I
Cody,
like
not
I
a not
like
a not a big fan of Cody?
not like I'm not wearing his robe and singing
Okay,
the national anthem, but
you're not doing the whoa outside, like
I do it. I sing the song, but
you do the whoa outside just randomly, like wait for the bus, like whoa.
listen, man. Look. You might have sometimes you go whoa,
Okay.
but like I would say this. I like Cody. Cody's run when he came back has been enjoyable. It's been entertaining.
Yeah.
But, I guess now when Cody's faced off against superior talent, I would say superior talent that can really work and try to show and express like he can learn something to pick up things. Roman Reigns, good one, but now he's really against one of the greats, like legit almost one of the greats, John Cena, who's really about to end
Mhm.
it all. So how does this really also is going to solidify also Cody's run as what he can do as well? Right now, we're seeing Cody very much very he wants to, like you said, he wants to smoke against John, but right now he's not making the first move. And I don't know if we're seeing that as Cody being very naive.
Mhm.
He's not taking the first step forward. It's not like, most wrestlers that we saw every time they got, guess what? They always got their payback. It didn't matter who. They always went to get their payback, even if they got their ass whooped. But let's see. I think we're seeing Cody being very naive, impeccably naive.
Mhm.
He doesn't know what he's just waiting for that to snap. But Cody don't act soon. He's the one that's going to get bled again. Do you bleed? And then next thing you know, he's getting another weapon from either which belt, Mama Rhodes, his dad,
Yeah.
or mess around. That belt might have, another one of his family members on it. And then we'll
Mm.
just see another thing. Like we always see Cody getting whipped, but eventually he always tries to make the dream the reality. But this nightmare might have a closed chapter.
Yeah, I think for me the Cody aspect is I mean some could say, oh, I like what's going on with John and Cody, which is fine, cool, your opinion. I think from the Cody Rhodes standpoint, again, if you go back to Chamber and the way John violated, embarrassed you, him, Brock, Travis, and the next two times you see John face to face, you want to have a wrestling convo in front of him. You want to, well, I want to wrestle with this guy, not that guy. Um, you know, before you take it off to the sunset and retire, don't you got to take it off of me first? Like I just feel, and I saw it on Twitter earlier. Are they protecting Cody from Cena really, getting his shit off and really unleashing a vicious promo? Because we know John can do that. And it's like, all right, if you let, no pun intended, if you let the reins off of Cena, yo, go ahead and do what. And we got to see him and Cody spar. We got to see them like how Cena and Punk did, and Cena and Roman, and Cena and God knows everybody else. At some point in time, you got to. If this is just another promo next week, okay, now we need both of you going back and forth. Now, I think if this the last time you see John until Mania, then you guys should close the show, not open up Raw. You guys should close the show next week. Could you get some hands dirty, some hands on? That'll be nice. And you can weave it through the whole thing, and again, maybe John's schedule, like, yo, man, get me first and get me out of here. I don't know what it is. I mean, obligations, the film stuff. Maybe him going first is like, yo, give me 20 minutes and I'm out. I can't stay the whole 3 hours. But it's like, if it were me, you finish, you close out Raw. If it's a promo, fine, but both you got to start talking your shit. Then start scrapping. Do something because you have a whole arena you could do vignettes and all that backstage stuff, and you're not doing it. So maybe I've seen a lot of promos. I've seen a lot of stuff to hype up matches. I'm like, this is John Cena's heel turn. This is the heel turn we've all been waiting for 20 years for John Cena, and this is all we're getting right now. And it's like weird to say that, like, you have this in the palm of your hands, right? Now, unless Cena has his DNA on this, like this is all I want to do, or this is what I think should happen. Okay, but other elements need to come into play into this
Hmm.
whole equation to make it feel like, damn, so I can't fucking wait for that match, bro. You crazy? You heard what John told Cody? You heard what Cody told John? And they were scrapping the locker room. What? You bugging? I'm all in.
You sold.
I'm sold. I'm sign me up. You don't have that feeling today, right now, but hopefully next week is the time you can really put the pieces together. Because if not, then it's like, all right, John, I see you at Mania. It's like, okay.
Would you like it if you saw a segment open up the show and then it'll close out?
If you ask me, if you're gonna, if you gave me the book, the paper,
Okay.
this is 101. This is not rocket science. Show John Cena pulling up in a whip to Raw, right? Or show Cody backstage somewhere waiting, looking. I'm waiting for John Cena to pull up. But it's kind of hard to do that because you're not really showing that animosity in the first 2 weeks you've been out there in the ring. So now it's gonna look forced. All right, Cody, what are you doing back here? I'm waiting for John Cena. Da, 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 da. All right, Cena pulls up in the whip, whatever, and like the Hollywood whip. Like, this is Hollywood Cena now, right? Open the door, boom, go right after him. Start scrapping. If you're gonna do the pull apart, cool, fine. Da da da. Then it's like that's the early part. You weaving through, um, in the middle of the show. Somehow they find each other, do the whole scrapping again or whatever. Like you have to start from the beginning to the end. Until now, when the end comes, you have that final exclamation point. Like, John, come out here. I'm tired of chasing you around the ring. Stop hiding from me. All that bullshit. Come out here right now. So you got to show that aggressiveness, not just we're gonna talk. We're gonna have a conversation. We're not here to have no conversation, bro. We're not. And that's what Cody's attitude should have been from day one. We ain't talking no more, bro. You kicked me down here. Your man punched me in the face. The Rock embarrassed me. You embarrassed me. We ain't talking. But the way they put it, Cody out there is like, hey man, I want to have a conversation with you, buddy. Like, nah, we're not we're not doing that. And I think what they're in London next week, so
They're
the
in
crowd
London.
the crowd's gonna be behind all that and fuck you, Cena, and all that. Cena sucks, cool. But you gotta give me, if you're not gonna mention the Rock at all, then you gotta get hands on dirty at some point in time.
If
Right or
that,
wrong.
if not, do you think it will be if they don't succeed in doing that instead of they just have the same montage? Do you think this will be like almost like a bust leading into WrestleMania?
Yeah, because then it's like, if I turn heel, then my heel turn could have been happening without the Rock.
Mm.
If the Rock is somehow, if it's the 25th hour and he has to be pulled out, why not just do the heel turn without the Rock, without the sell your soul shit? You could have flipped Cena differently without him. Now, if the Rock is still involved somehow, what is he gonna do? What input does he have? Like, if you're not gonna have him, the Rock, Cena, and Cody in the same ring at the same time, if you don't get that from now until Mania, then it's like, what the fuck did we do? What was that for? And I get the Rock saying, follow, listen, be patient. We're gonna take it for the ride. We're taking for the ride. Okay, we here, we locked in. But, buddy, hello, because you ain't wrestling at Mania, buddy. You're not fighting.
He's
John is for the title.
he's facilitating.
And I'm glad he mentioned Ric Flair and the title, because I think the signs indicate that Cena's going to walk out of WrestleMania with the championship, as
Mm,
he should. I don't think Cody should win at WrestleMania.
mm.
Do you agree or disagree?
I agree. I will because it would just spice it up more. I know we talked about it. Boy T Terrence said
Mm-hmm.
if you give it to John and towards the end you make him hold the title and then Cody breaks off and then it'll if you give Cody like a little break, it'll make us, miss him more or want him to come back.
Yeah.
It'll draw us more. So yeah, I think you will have John Cena winning. If Cena doesn't win, then I feel as though if Cena doesn't win, it's really almost like a waste of a storyline that you could create. It'll be a
Yeah.
waste, and it'll just, you know, honest, like respectfully, like we know Cody's a good champion, but we can't, you can't possibly try to turn him into, the reign that Roman Reigns had. Like
Mm.
Cody's reign is like I said before, Cody has a different reign. He has a different path, and he can't do what Roman Reigns did. He can't hold what
No.
that longest reign, that longest title reign. Now, Cody's gonna be great within himself. It's just a different way to do it, and you have to do that with the character that who he is and what he's giving you. You just can't force other characters or other legacies on people's own character. You just gotta let them go their own path, and that's just the way it is, man.
I hear you, bro. I'm just hoping that no, I'm not shitting on it. I see a lot of people on social with their opinions, and it's cool. But I think you know benefit of the doubt. Hopefully that they did not screw this heel turn up for John. Cause I know this was John like from 20. This was like him with The Rock in that era. Even Roman Reigns, like he was in that bag, like and just the swag and this and that. Like he could be sarcastic. He could be like John could be an asshole. He could be a dickhead, but that's the kind of heel you want. Not no fans. You turn blah blah blah, and it's like that's not the Cena heel turn. We thought was gonna happen.
Mm,
We're far from that, and the fact that if he's gonna walk away from it in December, then this thing the time is like dwindling. Like what we got, and I would love him to win it, bring Spinner Bell back.
oh,
I would love that. I just fucking love it because you know why? People are going to buy the Spinner Belt.
just for marketing, just buy it.
Marketing, kids who probably hated it now, they're grown men now. Oh, you know what? Yeah, I didn't like it back then, but now shit kind of fire, bro. Yeah, you do the spins. Dude, I might buy the shit.
I think
Cena has to bring that belt back if he wins.
I think if Cena wins it, guess what? At WrestleMania, you're gonna play him. You're gonna play Nas. You're gonna play Nas. Hate me now. You gonna hate me now.
He should have had the music,
But I
but
won't stop now. That would be good. Hey John, I'm telling you, man, you should come out, play Hate Me Now, but Nas, you
mhm.
can hate me now, but
Yeah,
I won't stop now. Bravehearts. Don't hate me. Hate the clothes that I buy. Monies.
okay,
Hey,
Nas,
hey,
nasty Nas in the area
what album
about to
was that?
cause mass hysteria.
What album was that? Hate Me Now on.
I am.
Mm.
Come on, man,
Who?
don't
What
don't
was
don't
it?
don't do that.
What was the image on the cover?
Nas with like the pharaoh thingy,
Egyptian. Yeah.
Egyptian thing. Yeah.
Pharaoh. Yeah.
Oh man, I know my albums, bro. I
I
know
ain't
the
trying to.
albums.
I'm just saying, but it's for the fans who be like, "Who?" I'm like, "Yeah, Esco, Nas, I am." How many I ams? But yeah, do you think that? Would you say that with Cody? Do you think would what would you like for Cody to do towards these towards these final moments? What would you like to see if you had the paper? We already said for John. What would you like to see Cody do?
Oh, before Mania,
Yes.
scrap with John, uh, physically, spar with John on the mic, show go in your bag for the microphone skills. Um, he's got to show. He just got to show that aggressiveness. He got to show I ain't no punk, bro. Like you John Cena, 16-time world champion, you Hall of Famer, 20 years. Oh, that's cool. But I'm the man now, right? This is my yard, my ring. Like he said, the champ ain't over there. The champ is here. You know what I'm saying? And I think him and John in that promo, whenever they start talking shit, he's got to go in the bag where nobody's been to before. Don't say, oh, John held people back and he was in the spotlight and this and that. Like he's got to find somewhere that can trigger John that nobody has before. Maybe bring up the whole heel turn, bring up The Rock, bring up Chamber. You know what I'm saying? Why would you align yourself with him? And we haven't seen this dude in a month. Do you think you could trust him? Do you think he believes in you? Do you think he's gonna be there when it's all said and done? Now start putting doubt into John Cena's mind. But listen, you to beat a man, you gotta beat the man, right?
Woo!
And John is trying to beat that man in one category, and Cody is trying to beat the man as far as John Cena in the ring and on the microphone in the biggest stage in the main event of WrestleMania. Now, what does that mean? I think it means more for Cody than it does for John, because John don't need to, whatever. Cody, you're trying to escalate Cody into that next John Cena realm. Good guys, longtime champions, the face of the company. That's who you want to market Cody as. But he's got to show a side like, I don't give a fuck, bro. Like, don't protect me like that. Let me go out there and do my thing. And I could show and prove I could hang with the John Cena's of the world. But, I think his reign as champion has been good. I think it's been solid. It's not Roman Reigns' reign. Because the guy was champ for 4 years, bro. It's amazing how the 4 years is like a blur now. Like, damn, 4 years, damn, already 4 years.
4 years.
And I just think I think the stories, the rivalries, Cody needs to have more. Because he fights AJ, he fights Logan Paul, he fights Solo, but it's like they're just matches. There's no stories.
They're not memorable. Yeah.
They're not memorable. It's not like what you telling me a Nas album. Oh, it's classic, bro. 20 years later, I can hear that a song "Hate Me Now." It's like it's timeless. He don't have the timeless joints right now. Now, what could be timeless? The John Cena match. What could be timeless? The story and match with The Rock, if it ever was to come to fruition. The story and the match you have with Randy Orton down the road. The match and the story you can have with CM Punk down the road. Those are the timeless joints on the album. Play that joint. Play that. Cody got mad hits, bro. Play that joint. He don't have as many yet right now. So I think if he is going to be champion in year 2, that's got to happen. Can John elevate him to that point? Of course. And I think him losing is another, play that joint, because when Cody lost, now the whole catch up, that is a whole story by itself. So I think out of like 10, good solid 7.5, 8 for Cody. I think that's a good rating for him and his reign. But I know there's a lot left for him to accomplish, and if he can get that under his wing, now we're talking.
Interesting rating. I like that.
Yeah,
that's a good rating. I would agree.
I want to get to 2 more things real quick, then we out of here. So excuse me, Bianca is gonna be special guest referee. Io and Rhea gets her rematch against Io next week. Bianca referee. Because Adam Pearce said right now it's Io and Bianca at WrestleMania.
We know,
but now I think obviously some shenanigans are gonna happen, which is gonna put Rhea into the match with Io and Bianca. So should be fun, should be entertaining. We'll see how it goes, but what's gonna happen.
We're gonna see a big turn. Bianca's not gonna know how to ref. It's gonna mess up everything. Rio's gonna be pissed. Io's gonna be pissed, and then next they throwing hands again, and then this is probably gonna lead up to say someone screwed who, someone screwed this, and that
Mm,
contract. Pierce is like, you know what? Since we can't handle it, we're gonna get it.
exactly.
We're gonna get that triple threat. I like how this is, playing out with all three, and it's not really a sense of, is every three of women for themselves. It's not 2-on-1. It's
Yeah.
not, against one person. So it's almost like every woman for themselves. So I just want to see more next week when we see that match. Let's see more. We get a little bit more, and then when we get back to the States, we see more action there. So that has a way of creating a good story between those three.
Mhm.
Possibly whoever wins, the outcome EO wins after Mania. So I think this is favorable. Again, I still think EO's going to win, but I think I'm still enjoying the ride to see what's going to happen, especially with
Yeah.
Blanca and Rhea afterwards. And the damage this might be, no pun intended, to EO Sky. So
Hmm.
I'm just waiting to see how this is going to be written off, and I just hope it just doesn't. They keep it going and they don't drop this.
Yeah. I mean, you're right there. It's gonna be Rhea, Io, and Bianca. Bianca as the referee is like, all right, what does she do that cost? So she's gonna have to cost Rhea the match and be DQ'd and all that. And then and all of a sudden Rhea won the match, but it's like interference or like Bianca made a lose. Now you know what? All you gonna be in this match. I 0% chance they have a clear winner like Io beats Rhea or Rhea beats Io, and it's a one-on-one match at Mania. I would highly doubt that. Um, because even if you did one-on-one match, it would be Rhea and Bianca, but Io's been very integral part into this mix, and she just won the title a few weeks ago. Why
Yeah,
would you not have her involved? Um, so yeah, I think. Listen, I think it just a dragging of all these stories. But now you at a point where like, all right, like if you tell me, hey, Mania is tomorrow, you're like, all right, let's do it. If I tell you Mania is 3 weeks from now, you're like, oh my god, like there's more stuff, more. I think that's what's hurting them more than they realize. From the Rumble in February to WrestleMania 2 months away, it's like, damn, bro. Like,
it's so much to
but,
build, but
but then again,
it takes a long. You gotta make sure what you're building is good.
true, because back in the day, if you take like a 98 Rumble in like the middle of January and WrestleMania is March 30th, whatever, 29th, 28th, whatever, that might sound damn, that's still like 2 months, but you have a show in between that. You have a February show.
Yeah,
If they would have had the Rumble Saturday night main event, then WrestleMania, okay, now it's easy to kind of thread stories. Now you're trying to build stories week in, week out. And right now, you could say not a lot of energy or juice is behind a lot of these matches. Um, it's okay. But even like you, do you feel like you're in the WrestleMania season? Is March 24th? Do you feel like you're in the WrestleMania season?
I feel as though right after Elimination Chamber, I was like, all right, I'm ready for WrestleMania season, and this
Right.
this month of March has been pretty long. I ain't gonna hold you, so it's just been like, all right, but every week I'm like, all right, we getting something new. Oh, Rhea and Io, they putting hands on each other, they fighting.
Mm.
All right, so now I'm just waiting for. I think the next thing you got to do is like, all right, someone's got to get colored the next time. Like, someone's gonna make someone bleed. Like, oh, someone calls someone uses color. someone uses a chair. I'm like, all right, but that's the thing. Like the WrestleMania season, it's exciting when you lead up to it, but to keep that momentum, that means every week you gotta like up the ante. Someone falls on, someone goes through a table, someone goes through a car, someone
Yeah,
fights through a truck. I'm like, it's so much, but it's like immediately you can't. Once you're here after Elimination Chamber, you got to keep going up. You can't go back down because I feel like sometimes you'll lose them. Sometimes some fans aren't patient enough, but because
true.
fans want it now. They like the girl from Willy Wonka. I want it now, but
Hmm.
no pun to JG Wentworth, but you just want it now. But it's just the anticipation of we want it, and then we get it. We get to Mania, and when we get to Mania, we just want whatever outcome in Mania to surpass everything we saw within the last 3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So, what do you think? Do you think how are you liking the energy now leading up to WrestleMania?
Um, it's not WrestleMania 40 energy. Um,
Not
and because people like The Rock were heavily involved, in the ring, outside the ring. You had The Rock doing all the vignettes on social media, the Instagram stuff. You had him whipping and beating Cody's
the
ass in the
promos.
fucking rain, the promos. You
Yeah.
even had that WrestleMania press conference in Vegas where Rock slapped Cody. You know what I'm saying? Like, you had outside elements for it. And with The Rock, there's an automatic buzz, right? But now, two key elements into WrestleMania season are not on TV every week. And we know John's been there 2 weeks, but we know when after next week is a wrap for him. He's not there every week. The Rock is not there every week to build, WrestleMania season. You have a lot of multi-man matches, which I'm fine with. Um, the biggest star you had in Roman Reigns is now in a triple threat with two of the biggest stars with Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Um, Cody with John Cena, like it just the stories is like I want to be in the season. I really do. Like I said, it's March 24th and Mania is 3 weeks, 4 weeks from now. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I can fuck with Mania. I mean, no matter what, I'm going to watch WrestleMania regardless. Right?
Right.
It just am I super duper hype? Probably not right now. Um, what's missing? Is something missing? Yes, something is missing. There's a buzz missing. It can't just be about the wrestling. You got to give me stuff story wise outside the arena, something like that. That okay, now it's you're putting the package all together. And again, we don't work there. We can share all the ideas we have, but it's like, how do you? I think the Punk and Seth and Roman is coming together. That's coming together. The Charlotte Tiffany is more far away than together. Um, I think they're gonna do a fatal four way for the IC title with
Mm.
Braun, Penta, Dominic. I think Finn.
Then, yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
So I'm okay, but now after tonight, all right, now you got to build towards that. Like there's a Judgment Day aspect to it. They want to recruit Penta. He said no. Then is Dom going to swerve Finn? Like I think Dom should come out of WrestleMania with the IC title. I told you that 2 weeks ago. Um, the EO Bianca and Rhea, cool. That's picking up steam. KO and Orton, it's there. It's okay, but I'm not hyped to see her right now. Jade Naomi, little picking up steam right
Yep.
now. Um, Other matches you have the Jey Uso and Gunther. That's been a little suspect.
It's
So
mid
it's
level.
like
It's been at mid level.
unless you're telling me, yo, man, once we get to Mania, it all makes sense. They're gonna blow the roof off. We're gonna swerve you. All right, now we can have a major reset of everything. So, um, not the biggest build right now because I feel like some matches were not in the original plan. So now they backtracking, they second guessing. Oh man, I did well. They're plugging and plug and play, plug and play, plug and play. If you ask me, what should have been the card? Rock, Roman, Punk, Cody, Cena, Gunther, and Seth with some other. We'll figure Seth out, but those could have been your Bianca and Rhea. Maybe those could have been your four pillars for WrestleMania 41. But instead, we have I think we have something. We have something, but let's see how it all plays out in the next 3 or 4 weeks.
I think we got some. I think they're giving us some good mid cards that can hold their own and not just to waste the time.
But what's the stories though? Matter of fact, what's your top three stories right now leading into WrestleMania?
Cena, Cody,
And
Rhea.
what's the story?
The story is betrayal, chasing legacy, and an icon. So
But
those are
have you heard that? Have you heard that being talked about aside from the legacy and the title from today? Have you heard betrayal? Have you heard about icon and or
I think
surpassing me and being the next John Cena? You ever heard that?
not to that, but I guess one thing about seeing a story from different aspects, different perspective, different literary lenses, you got to try to comprehend exactly from what you see as well. Because
Mm,
everyone has their own perspective. I'm seeing it from my literary glasses, just seeing how it is and using any type of form and just seeing how is it, know the history behind it, know the history of both athletes, John's history and Cody's history, and possibly too, put it together in this fiction story, this fantasy, just like what is the motive, what is the possibility. So that way when when you read a book, when you open it and already you're seeing the plot and you could probably possibly also predict what might happen at the end.
mm-hmm,
And then when you get towards the end, it might leave you with a cliffhanger.
mm-hmm,
It'll come out just as you thought. And when you reach that part of the book, you're like, I knew it.
mm-hmm,
I knew it. So what if we just need to, see the plot from a different lens? We got to see these from the lens. All these stories, all these subplots, all these twists, all these secondary problems that it has in the story. We just got to see it through different lenses and possibly use our minds and our imaginations for these fantasies and see what can possibly turn out. I mean, we've been using it so far, so
mm,
it's just the speculation of what can happen. That's what always reading a good book, a good
mm.
story. You
Yeah.
always want to see like what's going to happen next. And possibly sometimes when you read the book and the story, it doesn't the ending or the problem or the conclusion doesn't turn out the way that you want. But that's the thing about reading, and that's the thing about storytelling. You don't know, it always changes up, and you probably have to think, why did the author make this? Why did it come out with this way?
Mm-hmm.
So right now, WWE is the author. So everyone has a different mind of reading. Everyone, comprehends different. So we just gotta possibly trust our imaginations and trust that the authors, which are WWE or Paul, they create
Mm,
a good plot for us to unravel. So when we see this through our literary lenses or imaginations, we could just, have some satisfaction with it. So yeah, it probably ain't the story we want, but you know what? We just gotta try to look at it from different lens. We gotta have some hope a little bit.
I hear you. I hear
Gotta
you.
have a little bit.
Little, positivity. A little
So
optimism.
yeah, so you just gotta place what you know about the characters or so. I mean, when you read like your like boom, you read a Harry Potter book, you already know Harry, you know the backstory of Harry Potter. Parents
Yeah.
are dead, he's living with the Dudleys, you know, up until he was a teenager. Now he's, hard. He's entering a world he doesn't even know, and because he only was limited to what he already knew, and that treated less, downtrodden. But now the man's a wizard. As he's growing, he's every year he's growing. He's finding out some new aspect about him.
Yeah.
John Cena, John Cena, we know everything about him. The man, ruthless aggression, slap Kurt Angle. Every year, the jorts rap. He's been probably called a two-trick pony, one-trick pony, but John Cena is, a master at, storytelling, giving the fans what he want. He's always got the interest. Came out, had amazing matches. So I think that's every superstar.
Mm-hmm.
John, the women's match, they each have their own story, connection with each other from NXT, their own character behind it, the
Mm-hmm.
characteristics about them. Drew, Damian Priest, Jay, Gunther, every one of them has different characteristics about them, different character plots that can explain about them. That
Mm-hmm.
way it can relate to the character, even though this is maybe fiction. But
Yeah.
this is just the part we have to try to like look through those lenses and look through those different aspects, man. So
Yeah.
that's the way we got to try, or at least hopefully.
Well, I mean, I appreciate you giving me the history lesson of reading books and literature and literacy and just read the whole
Read,
chapter.
yeah, I can't help it. I'm still in work mode.
Yeah,
Read your books, kids.
that's
Read your
right.
books.
That's right. I think that's all I would say for Raw. So Cena, Cody, the IC title, Fatal Four Way that we're gonna have at Mania. Punk did a promo about Rollins and Roman, and um, we'll see how that plays out. The one important thing he did say, I'm gonna read the fine print, and maybe I'm gonna see if I get what I want. So maybe there could be some sort of incentive for Rollins, Roman, and Punk for the winner to, I don't know, get a title shot or be number one contender. We still don't know about the favor. Does Paul go with Punk? Does Paul go with Seth? I'm seeing on social. Does Seth Rollins becomes the winner? Which I think Seth is gonna win this shit. I think Seth is gonna win. From what I see right now, if I can see Seth walking out, and I have no problem with that as him winning.
I don't either.
Seth, Punk, then Roman. I don't think Roman wins the match. I think
Mm.
it's Punk or Seth, but I think Seth might fucking win this shit, bro.
Seth's gonna win, and possibly Punk and Roman might have the beef, or Punk's going to take the Wiseman from him,
Yeah,
and
I
then
think so too.
Roman's gonna probably we probably won't see Roman again till SummerSlam.
Oh boy, another fucking vacation for the tribal chief.
Hey, the tribal chief,
Well, if it's SummerSlam, then I think him and Punk is the story into SummerSlam.
yeah, because take my
It's not
Wiseman.
Seth.
Yeah, it's probably gonna be done with Seth.
Seth might go back to the World Heavyweight Championship aspect. Being that realm. Um, somebody was saying Paul might go with Seth. I'm like, okay, how would that
That will
look?
be interesting how that might turn
Like
out.
the favorite, Punk might be saying, "Yo, come with me," and Paul, yeah, I got you. But then he screws Punk and Roman and goes with Seth Rollins. Like, how would that look and feel? Different, unique.
It would
Um,
be, but I'm looking through the multiverse down the line. What Punk and Roman are both gonna take out the Wiseman for turning on him as well. It's like when Brock turned on. It's like when he turns on. When Heyman turned on Brock. We saw that cage match.
yeah,
So
I don't know.
interesting, interesting. But I'm not.
Very.
I'm not. I'm not against it. See how it goes. So let's
Mm,
see. Let's see.
we'll see. Be optimistic.
Got to.
I think that's pretty much it, Kenny. I know we're late in the game as far as recapping Raw. So I know Raw's one more time next week overseas. I think 3 or 4 o'clock. I might do the pod right after Raw next week. I'm not too sure. See who I can get on with me. I'll let you know about Friday for SmackDown.
Yes, sir.
Post SmackDown, let you know about that.
Yes,
And
sir.
then we'll go from there. April is around the corner, bro.
April's around the corner, and when April 1st comes,
Oh boy.
oof. So
Yeah, right. It's crazy.
WrestleMania is in one, two,
Like 3, 4 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks.
3 weeks. April
Wow.
19th and 20th. That's WrestleMania.
1, 2, 3. Probably 4 weeks
No, well, the 31st to
from
the 4th.
today.
Okay, 4 weeks.
Yeah, 4 weeks from today.
Yeah, I mean, I don't count this week. I'm counting until next week.
Okay. I'm. I apologize, sir.
No, it's fine. I mean, it's your own view. It's okay. So we could compromise 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks. All right. It's 21, 20, 28 days away from WrestleMania.
Hey, I won't be surprised to say this, Randy. I mean, I know they advertise for Raw, but I won't be surprised if things might succumb on SmackDown as well.
I think I did. Oh, Punk Rollins Roman contract signing in London on SmackDown. So
That's on Oath,
it's on
man.
Friday.
Now that should be interesting.
We'll see what's in the fine print if anything gets added or like, oh yeah, by the way, hold on, let me read the paper to you. There could be
Look,
something in there.
whoever gets pinned has to go away for 2 or 3 months.
2 or 3 months. If Punk wins, he gets Paul Heyman. If he loses or whatever, a title
Someone,
shot, no more
someone gets
contender.
someone gets the wise man or so.
You never know.
That would be interesting. It's like the
Yeah,
end of an era, the fully loaded match.
that's right. That is right. You can find Kenny on social media at Kawabunga_K_E_N. Myself, Rainy J Cruz, RENDY, letter JCRUZ. Find the podcast on SoundCloud, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, also on Amazon Music. Go to youtube.com/Cruise Control Podcast. Go ahead, download, rate, comment, subscribe, like, all that good stuff. Show some love and support for your boys on the program. For myself, Kenny Holt, Randy Cruz, 2 out of 3 Folds podcast. We out.
We out of here. Take care,
Yes,
y'all.
sir.
Dip. Start with that banana, get that Saratoga water, and dip your face in that ice bucket. The ice bucket challenge, baby. Ice bowl, at least.
Ice Bowl.
Start that journey. Get your
Fact.